Well, as my time at work is winding down, at least until my next days off, which are coming up in about 6 days, I've been slowly running out of content. Really trying to figure out what I can shoot video of. I came up with an idea. Now, there's going to be lots of content coming. I mean, I'm going to Mardi Gras next week and the theme parks. So there's going to be stuff coming. And I'm taking my RV, Cousin Eddie, out. But until then, it's just been work. So on today's video, hold on, what does it say? Right lane must use next exit. Yes, I'm not taking the next exit. So today's video, I'm thinking a top 5 video. What would make a good subject matter for a top 5 video? How about the 5 crazy places as a truck driver that I've spent the night? Sounds interesting. So this list will exclude RV because I really haven't slept at any crazy places in my RV yet. But this will be a crazy, unexpected places I've slept as a truck driver. It's really hard to find parking a lot of times, so you're stuck sleeping in some pretty nutty places that you wouldn't expect you'd be ever sleeping at. So let me get my list together, and I'll be right back with you guys once I park. Okay, I'm finally parked. It is now midnight, or thereabouts. It's right around midnight. And I figured, why am I looking at this camera when I should be looking at this camera? All right, here we go. Are you guys ready? The top 5 list of the nuttiest, craziest places that I've ever had to sleep after driving 30 years on the road. If there's any background noise, I apologize. My trailer is right behind this wall and it's running like crazy. So before we get started here, a little sweet tea, and let me look at the laptop. Okay, this was kind of a weird list. After 30 years, I was really trying to think of some strange places that I've woken up in the mornings and weird situations that I had to that I found myself in trying to get a good night's sleep. So some of these are you would think are normal, but they're not at all. So as a truck driver, number one, a lot of times we park on the side of the roads. We show up to a warehouse or a business that's closed and we can't deliver till the morning when the sun comes up. Sometimes places are not in very savory areas of neighborhoods. That's why I picked for the number 1. Now, this isn't the number 1 spot. Number 5 is actually the craziest, I think. Number 1, Compton, the streets of Compton, California. So what happened was I was delivering pie crust, little baby pie crust, to a little bakery on the streets of Compton, California. And this was probably 30 years ago when NWA was the thing. And so I'm driving the main drag, whatever the main drag of Compton is, and I find my place. I have to find a way to loop around on those city streets and then park on the city street right against the building in the street and just park there and wait for this big gate to open up in the morning. Nothing really strange about that. What made it strange was it was right around the Rodney King riot type thing where they pulled the truck driver out of the truck and beat him up and stuff like that. So a lot of us were pretty nervous about being in neighborhoods like that. Don't you think about jumping up on my computer. So we were a little bit worried about stuff like that. And So like late, it was probably about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. I arrived there. About 20 to 30 minutes after I got parked, an African-American dude was knocking on the side of my truck asking me if I want any commercial company. Do I want a woman to spend the night with me out here on the street? No, you know, I thank you though. Thank you. But no, that's cool. All right, well, you're gonna be staying here all night? You're going to this building in the morning when it opens? Yeah. Well, for $50, we'll keep an eye on your truck for you, and then we'll wake you up in the morning just before the gates open up so you can get in. And when he said they would keep an eye out on my truck for me, that kind of gave me a little bit of worry. So, you know, I figured I didn't feel safe. I coughed up $50 to some stranger that knocked on the side of my truck for security reasons. I mean, I was a young truck driver at the time. And, yeah, it worked. So in the middle of the night, like 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, there was people right in the front of my truck doing what people on the streets do at the late hour in the city like that. You can only imagine. And then they're just like right in front of my truck, and I'm having a hard time falling asleep because I know what they're doing in the front of my truck. But at the same time, they're keeping an eye on my truck. In my head, I'm thinking. One of them came up and asked me, hey, have you eaten? Are you hungry? Yeah, like I'm going to leave my truck with you guys all standing out there. You know, I didn't say that, but I was a little worried about it. And no, we got a soul food restaurant right across the street. There's a soul food restaurant. And they got really, really good food. Or they didn't talk like that. I'm talking like a white boy. But yeah, so we'll walk you across the street, you know. So I locked up my truck. One of the guys that was selling his wares in front of my truck walked me across the street. And then I went in there. I felt comfortable. Came back. And they walked me back to my truck. Everything. It was like I had my own private security. I don't know if they were Crips, if they were Bloods, whatever they were. But they were pretty awesome. And come to find out, one of them that was standing there told me, yeah, have you ever seen the TV show Barney Miller? Well, the bald-headed white dude that's bald in the middle, kind of the younger guy, he eats there all the time. That's one of his favorite places. They didn't know his name, but they did know the TV show Barney Miller. So it was kind of cool, but crazy at the same time. I never had an experience like that before in my life. And just as a newbie truck driver, it was pretty scary. Anyway, long story short, that was number one. Number two, another city situation. The Bronx, New York. Now, I didn't feel in danger at all in the Bronx. Excuse me, I'm not exactly sure if this is considered the Bronx. I don't know. I don't go to New York enough. But there's a bridge called the Brooklyn Bridge. Maybe you heard of it. I don't know. I really never paid much of attention to it because I don't go there. But I found it, and I crossed it. And I was supposed to be delivering to a place called Jet Row. Whatever Jet Rows were. I had produce on. So I crossed over the bridge out of the city. I guess that was Manhattan or something on one side and Brooklyn on the other. I'm not exactly sure how the city's set up. So I crossed that bridge, turned, made a left, came down, and Google was telling me to turn left here, turn left here. So I turned left down a one-way street that went down to the water, and you had to make this sharp left-hand turn, and there's like a fence where the water is in this building, and it just was kind of a horseshoe back out to the road that I just turned off of, and the place I was going wasn't down there. So I go all the way down this street, and I get stuck in between a building and that fence that goes down by the water because I couldn't make the turn. So I got stuck down there right directly underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. The pylons were right there, everything. I was just stuck, and there was nobody there to help me out. I got stuck spending the night cockeyed in between a building and that water, unable to move, as the cat just decides to get in front of the camera. Why are you getting in front of my camera? Why? So I got stuck there until the next morning when a bunch of police came on horseback and helped guide me out. But it took them until the next day to be able to do that. That was the second strange place I've ever had to spend the night. They get better, trust me. They get a little bit better. Okay, because it's so hard nowadays to find parking. Walmarts are not letting us park there anymore. You can't park in Sam's Clubs, Home Depots, shopping malls. Everybody's kicking us out. We're not allowed to spend nights in those places anymore. And if you go to a truck stop, well, nowadays they're starting to charge $15 every single night to park. So you're looking for those free places, those free boondocking spots. And because I drive RV now, it makes it a little bit easier. I'm aware, I'm paying attention of places where I can park my RV or I can park my tractor trailer. So the number 3 spot doesn't sound too good, doesn't sound much better than these other places, but X-rated bookstores. You stay off my laptop. X-rated bookstores. Wow. They got the parking and they love it when you park there because they're assuming you're going inside. I don't know what is inside those stores. I've seen American Werewolf in London where there's like a movie theater or something back there. I don't know what's in there. They say arcade, but I don't think it's the arcades that I'm thinking of. The 1980s Pac-Man, but maybe a dirty Pac-Man. I don't know. But they love it when you park there. And so pretty much all across the country, if you find a place called the Lion's Den or X-Marts or whatever the names of those places are, always huge parking, and you can just whip in there. Nobody messes with you. Nice, safe, secure, and you can go inside and use the bathroom. I guess. I don't know. I'll go pee on my tire. But you could feasibly go in. I'm assuming they have a bathroom. I don't know. Number 4, I live in Florida, live just outside of Orlando, and I'm Disney family. Disney family. So, but I was doing this way before I knew any security and anything like that. Theme park parking lots. Now, not just any theme park. You can't just park at any theme park. But usually when I come home, if I got a early morning delivery somewhere in town or something like that, I'll go to Epcot. I'll just drive into Epcot, park. Security doesn't mess with you. Well, they don't mess with me. I can't guarantee they won't mess with you nowadays. The cat is going crazy. But I will spend the night at Epcot. So when the cleaning crews are coming in and they're bringing all the food in and everything else, yeah, I'm parked way back in the back parking lot, and I just park there. They don't mess with me. You can try it. No guarantee that they're gonna. I mean, even if they do, if they say, hey, you can't stay here all night, you can just say, hey, I was in. The park closed at 9, 10 o'clock tonight. I was drinking around the world. I've had a little bit too much to drink. I don't want to get behind the wheel. I'm just going to stay here for a few hours and sober up. I don't see why they're not going to make you drive. So I've never had to do that, but that's an excuse I would use. It's in my little excuse book. But at the moment, I'm fortunate enough to know some security people that work the parking. Number 5. This is the craziest, the nuttiest place I have ever spent the night, and I've spent the night here multiple times throughout my career. Not only me by myself, but with my children and my ex-wife. And that is brothels. If I'm out in Nevada, especially in Ely, Nevada has 2 brothels with gigantic parking. And the one I stayed at the most with the children and everything was called the Hacienda. And for those of you that don't know what a brothel is, Google it. I don't want to say the WHOR word, because this is a family channel. But yeah, brothels. And preferably for me was the Hacienda back in the day when my kids were growing up and stuff like that. because I wanted to teach my son about women. No, that wasn't the reason. Reason was, you park, you go inside. They made homemade chili that was incredible. The girls would get the girls live there, so they would cook. And if you're a truck driver, you come in there and they feed you this homemade chili, free sweet tea, free showers, not free boom boom, I'm sure. But the girls would do something for you for free other than boom boom. And that is, when it's time to wake up in the morning, if you have a specific time, they would be your alarm clock. So you go in for your free chili, go in for your free shower, go in for your sweet tea, say, hey, could you send a girl out to my truck about 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning to wake me up? Yeah, no problem. Go ahead, go out and go to sleep. So you come out, you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning with a tap, tap, tap on the door with a beautiful girl knocking, hey, you got to get to work. So, and I remember the very first time I did that with my children in my truck. That was pretty scary. Not only my children, but when my ex-wife was in the truck. I don't know if she'll remember that. I don't know why she wouldn't. But that was pretty scary. Having a girl knock on your truck with your wife and kids and your dog and everything else in your truck. But yeah, it was incredibly. It was a brothel that was extremely family friendly. A family friendly brothel. So that was the craziest place, and I've stayed there multiple times because I've had such good experiences, and not in the way you guys might think. But yeah, it was pretty great. Anyway, that's my top 5 list of the craziest places I've stopped and have had to sleep at over the years. It was so hard to narrow them down. I mean, Compton could have been number 1 just because of the drug dealing, paying people off to keep an eye on my truck, so my hubcap, well, my truck doesn't have hubcaps, but just so my truck is safe and so I feel safe at night sleeping. That could have been the top pick. But I'm going to pick the brothels of Nevada as my top pick. All right, guys, until the next time, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. 2 more subscribers, and I will break the 500 subscriber mark. Only 2 more. I can't believe it. It's not going to take me the rest of this year, hopefully, to get those 2 subscribers. But I'm getting so close, man. So close. So if you're new to the channel and you want to subscribe, just click that little red button on the right-hand bottom side of your screen that says subscribe. Give a like, give a share, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Remember, guys, be safe out there. Stay at a reputable brothel. And stay off the streets of Compton. Until the next time, peace out, everybody.